Okay, thank you everyone for joining. My name is Tom Carnival, founder and CEO of Sentry 360. Today we're going to be, the title of the webinar is The World of Megapixel Through Our Field of View. We're going to be talking about Sentry 360's product differentiators, how we stack up against the competition, an overview of our product line, and key insights as to why we develop the products the way that we do. A few housekeeping notes. We are going to be doing a question and answer session here live. About 50% of the way through. We have actually a few more people joining us now. I'm just going to pause another minute while they're getting their audio controls set up. Thank you for your patience. Just a few more seconds. Okay, we're ready. So, who is Sentry 360? We were founded in 2004. We are a U.S.-based design developed. We own all of our source codes and reference designs, and we have all of our support and development in the United States. We have grown 250% in the past 2 years. Now, a wise man once told me that your best teacher in life and in business is your own mistakes. So we're not here to tell you that we're brilliant business people, that we designed to have 250% revenue increase the past 2 years. It's all by design. We've learned over the years, since 2004, about the IP video industry, about what customers want, and how to cultivate our products, and really how to go to market. In a few slides, we'll really explain to you why we feel we've grown the way we have in the past 2 years. Our product line, we call it application-driven. So that means 2 to 14 megapixel camera options, 180 and 360 panoramics. We have a new HD 2 megapixel pan-tilt zoom camera that's 30 frames per second with autofocus, and dome bullet with built-in IR LED illumination. So in 2009, we came out with our application programming interfaces and software development kits, SDKs. So we developed these for third-party storage, analytic, and video management software providers to integrate our cameras. Prior to 2009, we had a lot of doors slam in our face. Well, we always got the same story. They said, we love your cameras, but if they don't work on our existing system, you know, I've made an investment in a hybrid system or a video management software platform. If it's incompatible, I just can't buy it. I love your products, but if they don't work on my investment, my existing system, I can't move forward. So since 2009, we've developed over 30 partners, from video analytics to storage, networking devices. We've all certified, and enterprise video management solutions. So we want to be the best we can possibly be in developing network devices, network megapixel cameras. So we don't do, you know, retail or mobile. So if you have an application where you want to put cameras on buses or rail cars, we have plenty of customers or technology partners that specialize in that. If you have specific video analytic needs, like digital tripwire, people counting, things like that, we have a variety of partners that integrate with our specific cameras that do video analytics. If you need enterprise solution with multiple locations and a centralized management platform, we have partners that do that. If you have a school, if you're a school or a campus, we have special partners that do K through 12 and college and university campus locations. So if you have a specific need for a specific application, we believe we've developed an entire ecosystem of solution partners that integrate with our cameras successfully. So please ask us what your application is. Tell us what your application is, and we'll match you with the right technology partner. So this is what we believe, and we're really going to give you kind of an inside track to our design thinking here, why we design and develop the products the way that we do. So many years ago, we wanted to solve the inherent problem with surveillance cameras. It's very simple. If you point the camera to the left, something happened on the right. No matter how far that camera can zoom in, no matter how high the resolution is, you missed it. We wanted to create an omnidirectional viewing camera that has no blind spots with no moving parts. But we did not want to have the multiple sensors pumped through a single processor and an IP address to create and stitch the panoramics. Because our engineers felt If we wanted to reduce cost and have a Linux-based FPGA processor as our core, multiple sensors through that processor will cause overheating, which will equal poor reliability, which will then create a negative reputation and product failure over time. So we believe in the single sensor, single lens philosophy, delivering an omnidirectional view. So one camera, full 360-degree viewing, no blind spots, no moving parts from a single vantage point. So this delivers an omnidirectional viewing station. So what the users can experience is multiple views. They can pan, tilt, and zoom in live or recorded video. Let's give an example. Operator A wants to do an investigation and access the 360 camera and pan, tilt, and zoom to the left. Operator B can access that same camera, pan, tilt, and zoom to the right, doing completely different investigations or the same investigation, but not doubling their bandwidth and not accessing multiple cameras, or not interfering with each other or taking control of the PTZ functionality. So we also believe in capturing the best possible clarity and information for forensic detail. So capturing license plates and identifying suspects. So you can see here with the 10 megapixel image, you can capture a wide field of view, multiple license plates for forensic video. So in any security application, investigators need to answer the following questions: who, what, where, when, and how. So we believe our product line has the answers to these. Our core philosophy in designing a security project is to combine situational awareness and forensic detail. 360s and 180s to capture an overview shot to reduce your camera counts, bandwidth, and storage, and then specific high megapixel down to HD cameras that capture license plates, faces, even with a wide field of view. We think the combination of these products deliver a lower total cost of ownership to the end user. So here we're getting into our professional series of cameras. These are traditional box-style cameras. All of them are low-profile, compact designs and range in resolution from 2, 5, 10, and 14 megapixel. So here's an image of one of our 5 megapixel cameras in a street intersection. So here you can see we can zoom in digitally and still capture multiple license plates and identify potential suspects in a single image. Moving on, here we're seeing a lot of forensic detail, multiple plates, multiple pieces of forensic detail, 1135, 331, and wonderful ads here in public parking, $3. You don't get that kind of rate in Chicago nowadays. And we continue to move on here. A big problem in our industry with high megapixel cameras is performance in low light. So we have two aspects of our high megapixel cameras. We really feel passionate that we're solving some of these answers. So the first one is having a mechanical IR cut filter. So automatically, when the lux environment goes down in the scene, the mechanical IR switches on. So here the video we're playing now is a 5 megapixel camera. You're seeing fluid frame rates, and it's only using the ambient light. The second attribute to our camera is what we call owl eye technology. So owl eye is basically an algorithm that enables the camera to maximize or absorb ambient light within the scene, delivering high-quality images even in low-light scenarios without third-party IR. So overviewing our products, one of the major things we're so proud about is our low power consumption. With high megapixel cameras, we see advanced compression technologies come to the forefront like H.264. But end users don't really see the cost analysis of their camera system until they get their power bill a few months after the system's installed. So a maximum of 3 watts for our cameras we think is pretty special, considering our resolutions do up to 14 megapixel. Specifically here is a 18x optical embedded autofocus optical zoom lens that does 30 frames per second. We call this our license plate capturing camera. And we have a small compact design here in our 5, 10, and 14s. Now this is another important attribute of our entire product line. 4 simultaneous H.264 streams. Well, why is that important? Why is that a valuable feature? The point of megapixel cameras is really to capture the best evidence, right? To capture highest resolution, highest frame rate. So if you have multiple locations and you want megapixel cameras at them, you want to be able to capture high-res, high frame rates locally. The other streams can be used for verification. So I don't need to view on my iPad a 10-megapixel image that's going to kill my network or my Wi-Fi and give me 1 frame a minute, depending upon your network infrastructure, of course. So I can verify based on my motion detection alarm or alarm system locally that, hey, yes, there's been an alarm breach, there's a white van in the middle of my parking lot, or another example, yes, there's someone walking down my hallway. They're not supposed to be there. So utilizing the multiple streams reduces the overall cost of your infrastructure and maximizes what the power of megapixel can do. High-res locally, low-res, and low frame rates, depending upon how you want to throttle it. We have a constant or a variable bit rate in all of our cameras, so you can adjust the resolution, the frame size, and the frames and the speed of the camera based on each independent stream. Some other accessories for our cameras. We have a variety of outdoor enclosures from IP65 to IP68. And we've also just recently introduced for the petrochem market an explosion-proof housing, which is 100% Class 1 Division 2 certified for U.S. standards, and it also has certifications for other parts of the world as well. So moving on here, here's a high megapixel camera in action. We have the digital zoom. In high megapixel cameras, what's the real point and value of them? Well, it's to cover more space with forensic detail. So example here, another scene here. This is a 10 megapixel camera using a 25 millimeter lens, and you see we're capturing a very wide field of view, even part of the court here. So the 10 megapixel camera has total 6 frames per second, 0.2 color, 0.2 lux in color in low light. We really stress this. With high megapixel cameras, that really means anything over 5 megapixel. Use machine vision lenses. We have a variety of lenses we OEM from certified manufacturers of optics that we provide in our product catalog, or we recommend other manufacturers that we've also certified lenses for. The reason is you get this kind of quality. So if we can zoom in here, we're optimizing the pixel density of the sensor with real with true machine vision lenses. So here we can even identify pretty much every single person in their seat. We see some Bulls fans and some unfortunate Celtics fans that we can spot in the crowd. We're capturing forensic detail with a wide field of view. Moving on. So this is our Insight Dome series. It's a combination of mini domes, Vandal domes with varifocal lenses, and our pan, tilt, and zoom camera. All cameras are 1920 by 1080p and up to 30 frames per second. All of them have onboard storage, and for the most part, they have autofocus and remote autofocus capability. Here are a few screenshots of some of the images. So, overview. We believe our products are very installer friendly. So what do we mean by that? Autofocus and remote autofocus is a very important feature. Let me explain why. Imagine after an installation, you just installed a 16-camera system. The end user loves the image quality. He's like, great, the job is perfect, you know, but you thought you were done as the installer. But a couple weeks later, the end user calls you up and says, hey, image looks great. I really just need a wider field of view so I can capture more information with this camera to see more of the hallway or more of the back entrance. I just need a wider field of view. Can you come over with your ladder and zoom the camera out so we can do that? Well, previously, before remote autofocus and optical zoom, you would have to get up on a ladder and take the dome off and change the varifocal resolution or varifocal range so you have a wider field of view. Now, the end user can click a button, zoom out, zoom in. It's that easy. We also have multiple alarm inputs and outputs of these cameras, 4 in fact, 4 in, 4 out. Again, we have 4 times simultaneous H.264 streams in all of the domes. Some of the domes have audio. Please verify which models. We've left audio out in some of these cameras. So there are specific models, so ask your sales Sentry 360 consultant for audio applications. And we use, just for your reference, 7.26 audio compression. And all of our storage on our camera is micro SD. Now, in 2011, we capped the size to 32 gigabytes. That's, we test a variety of different micro SD card manufacturers, from Seagate to just a variety. There's so many out there. This year, we've actually narrowed it down to about 5 manufacturers that we support 64 gigabyte onboard storage. So please, again, this is another question. Ask us if you are. I would not just throw in any 64 gigabyte micro SD card to our cameras. Please consult us. We have a list that we can give you of actual SD cards we've tested over time in our lab. So this is a new pan, tilt, and zoom camera. It's a 20x optical PTZ, 4 to 94 millimeter range, and it has built-in IR options as well. All of our CMOS cameras now have wide dynamic range, so you can digitally enhance. We have actually 4 profiles of wide dynamic range settings, from low to high, in different ranges for different applications, and you can actually set a preset of wide dynamic quality based on, obviously, the sun rises and sets. So we have different scenes throughout a 24-hour period of what quality we're going to get. So you can actually have preset wide dynamic range settings on all of your cameras as well. So the mini dome here is a board mount lens. We want to be very clear about that. These are very small, compact mini domes that have board mount lenses. So there's a few options. There's a 2.4 for very wide. There's a 4 millimeter, an 8, and a 12 millimeter. So those are the 4 options you have for range. There's no price difference. You just need to tell us. And they ship out of the box focused to 1 focal length. Important to notice that you cannot, with the mini domes, change the focal length after the fact. You can change the lens, but you have to get a new lens after that. To the right here, we see our Vandal domes. They all, as a standard, come with autofocus and remote autofocus. So in the web browser of the camera, or in your VMS software that's compatible with Sentry 360 cameras, you have a 3 to 9 millimeter varifocal autofocus lens that you can change at will. So here's some other applications. And moving on. Okay, so this is the new full-sight 180-degree camera series. So we launched this about mid-year this year, and has, without a doubt, been our #1 selling product series the second half, the back 9 of 2012. We've done some exciting, game-changing things in this product series that we're going to talk to you a little bit about. There's 2 core models, 4 and 8 megapixel. And we do 180-degree panoramics a little differently than the rest of the folks out there. So here's a snapshot image of a 180-degree camera. So it's mounted on the back wall. And here we're going to play a little video clip here, very short. Okay, so here's how we do it. So this is the original native image coming from the camera. So our 8, quote-unquote, megapixel camera is actually a 10-megapixel sensor. So what we do in our 4 is actually a 5-megapixel net sensor. So we're using an omnidirectional fisheye lens here, and we've made sure that we have the right specific lens for 180. We've made our 180s separated from our 360s because we think we're actually, A, we're using different lenses, and B, there's a completely different correction that needs to be done to make it an efficient product and optimize it for panoramics versus the 360 immersive. But here's what we do inside the cameras. We correct that fisheye view. No one wants or needs to record the sky unless you're analyzing flight patterns. So here we correct the panoramic image inside of the camera. So here's another application here. We're having a lot of success in the retail space with the panoramic 180 cameras. specifically kiosks, retail stores, bank teller, back walls of teller lines are really successful as well, applications here. So here's an overview. We are ONVIF compliant. So, well, who cares? A lot of manufacturers say they're ONVIF compliant. Why is it important with 180-degree cameras? Let me explain. So we've done the correction of the fisheye inside the camera so you have a panoramic image. So we decided to take it a step further. We didn't want to go to all of our VMS compatibility partners, analytics and storage, and say, hi everyone, thank you for writing in our SDK that took you several weeks of coding. Here's another one for this new product. What we wanted to do was do it all in camera, so it plugs and plays through the ONVIF driver. So our panoramic image in 8 and 4 megapixel cameras is streamed in panoramic mode, in correction mode, through the ONVIF driver. So that means, for the most part, most ONVIF compliant, depending, I would always be sure to check which version of ONVIF, because unfortunately there's several of them. But the latest ONVIF compatibility, I think it's 2.1 is the version. That is the version that works with our panoramic cameras. So that opens us up to a lot of compatibility partners and applications our cameras can serve. So moving on here, this is the 4180, the compact low-profile design. We really, this specific camera, actually, if you see to the right, has a gimbal. So they're designed for wall-mount applications, but the 4180 specifically has a gimbal. So if you do mount it on the ceiling, you can turn down and twist down and maneuver that panoramic image how you want to position it, even if you mount it on a ceiling. So we do the in-camera correction as well. So here's another application. So Precious, this was a fun room, fun demo day, a room full of Bugattis. Our next and final product series is our flagship 360-degree full sights. They come in 3, 5, and 10 megapixel cameras, and of course are supported by plus 30 VMS analytic and storage technology partners. So we think the past 2 years there's been a lot of competitors pop up that are making 360 fisheye cameras. We think we have a competitive edge for a few reasons here. The first reason is our SDK is one of very few, I think we're one of actually 2, that have a full SDK that has an integration base, an ecosystem that it's been integrated with, that you can record the fisheye view and in the client or remote, correct the view and pan, tilt, and zoom in live or recorded video. Other companies decide to send you only a portion of the dewarped image, leaving the rest of it unrecorded, and therefore not giving or delivering the point of what 360 is. So these are really designed to be ceiling mounted. Another major competitive advantage we have in 360 is the freedom of choice, giving you 3, 5, or 10 megapixel product ranges, different price points, different form factors, and different resolutions to choose from. So these are all designed to be ceiling mounted, and we have a variety of accessories that work with those as well. So specifically our outdoor enclosure, which is IP66 rated, and we're pretty proud of this. This is actually a custom designed housing for our Pro Series 510 and soon to be 14 megapixel 360, which will a little teaser for next year's product launch. Inside of the camera, you can actually lock the camera into a saddle so it's centered specifically inside of the housing to optimize the coverage and field of view so you're not getting any glare in the dome enclosure. And what you can do is plug the camera in with a short cable, and the output through PoE will power the heater, blower, and camera with one cable. Another major advantage we feel is image quality. We think our cameras, we've been doing a 360 and 180 for quite a long time. We think we got the optics right and know how to do it right. We're not just attaching any fisheye lens onto a camera. We think we have real performance with our 360 cameras. And we actually have a tool that we're going to show you here in a little bit is how to optimize the field of view based on how high you're mounting the camera and how far away you want to see. So finally, our Sentry Core VMS software is our own software we've been developing since around 2005. It has multiple display settings. When you install Sentry Core, you actually get a server as well, so a server software that can display throughout multiple monitors. Of course, you have to have the right hardware, compatibility hardware. Please verify and check with us before deploying the video wall. It is designed for the 4 to 32 channel market. Why do we say that? Why wouldn't we say, hey, you can throw thousands of cameras on the software? We don't want to oversell Sentry Core. We don't want to tell you it can do something that it can't do. It does support third-party cameras and encoders, but it is not, by any means, an enterprise-level management software. We package it as a simple, easy-to-use software that's reliable and stable, that gives you live, record, playback, remote. We don't have enterprise features like analytics or QoS, and we're not really designed for multi-site locations. This is a simple software designed for the 4 to 32 channel market. On-screen digital PTZ and digital zoom. We do have iPhone and iPad apps coming in January 2013, free iPhone, iPad apps coming in. And a really neat feature of our software is that it's automatic configure plug-and-play installation. So you can plug all of your cameras into the network and auto-configure them within the settings of the software. The best part of the software is that it is free. So if you buy a Sentry 360 camera, you get a license for free. We do not cap the amount of licenses you can have. As many cameras as you want, you get software for free. That's our go-to-market strategy. So here would be a good time to pause and start taking some questions. So I'm going to open up my question bar here. In that video recording you just showed, can you zoom into some plates? It's just an AVI file. We actually have an entire other presentation that we can show you that shows the plates, but let's schedule that offline. We kind of just wanted to cover the X's and O's today. Yes, we can. We have plenty of video clips that you can see, analyze, and digitally zoom into plates. So let's look at some other questions. Okay, are all of your 360s on VIF compliant? Yes, they are. But inherently, the problem is going to be if you stream our 360 cameras through OnVIF only, and you don't have our 360 SDK, and it's by an OnVIF only compatibility functionality, you can only do a digital zoom in the fisheye image. So we would really recommend you do not use our 360-degree cameras on uncertified VMS platforms. We recommend you use our 180-degree and directional cameras because there's no SDK or dewarping necessary in any of those products. So we really would love for folks to not use the 360 because it's not going to work too great. So, okay, Paul. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get some questions here. Jason, I'm going to enable you. Jason, you're live. Can you? You've raised your hand. How can I help you? Jason M., are you with us? Please, I've unmuted you, so you may have done an additional mute on your phone handset, or you've gone away. Okay, we're going to answer a few other questions. When is the 14-megapixel camera being released? So we have a couple 14-megapixel cameras being released next year. We've done some major improvements to it, and so the Insight series camera, which actually has a refined low-light capability, will be January, and the 360-degree version of it, we're not sure yet. We're hoping for an ISC West 2013 deployment. Some other questions. Does your software only let you view and record cameras? Yes. Yes. So you can view recordings live. You can plug in third-party network-attached storage to it. It is, we actually call Sentry Core more like an NVR software, network video recording software, than an enterprise VMS. I think there's a big distinction between VMS software and NVR. So our software is really for those users who want high-resolution video, maybe panoramics, but just want the live, record, remote. Can you do scheduling? Yeah, you can do some scheduling. Can you record on motion? Of course you can. All of our cameras record on motion. So that's is the PT's 2-megapixel PTZ out and any shots from that camera? Great question, Paul. We'll actually show you. It is out and it is selling. It's been a really high sell of the past few months. It's 20x optical. The specs are available on the website. You're local to us, Paul. I'll show you a live demo whenever you want. We don't have it up right now for this one, but next question is why is resolution? Okay, so this is a specific question about Genetec. So it's about resolution and formatting it with 3-megapixel in Genetec. So we've actually, with Genetec supporting, we actually have, you may be having trouble because you do not have the right firmware. We have actually written in the Genetec protocol into our cameras. They are available on our partner portal, which we're about to show you here in a few minutes. Make sure your camera has the Genetec protocol built in, or please call our tech support and we'll get that to you immediately. MSRPs, I really, I love the question. This is not a forum to kind of talk about pricing. We're really, we're happy to talk about MSRPs and dealer discounts and distributors. If you want to be referred to a distributor offline, please contact us with that. We more just want to talk about tech stuff today. And an enterprise-level VMS software deployment is separate. Dewarping license, common requirement, in addition to a standard license. No, no. All of our partners who have integrated our SDK have committed to a standard license. So whereas if you kind of compare it to another type of panoramic camera with multiple sensors, sometimes VMS guys like to be a little tricky and say, hey, we're going to charge you 4 licenses when it's really only, it's 1 IP address, but it's 4 cameras. Our cameras, it goes back to the single lens, single sensor philosophy. It's 1 license, so it should not be any more than a regular license for any type of camera. Do you have any extreme environmental solutions or planning any example operating temperatures -30 to plus 60 degrees Celsius? We do. We have 2 options for you. We have a dome option and a fixed camera option. The explosion-proof housing is actually that in the IP68 rated housing. We have not put on the website yet. We have a spec sheet, so if you send me your email address, I will send you the full specs of the IP68, which does -40 degrees. Lee asks about onboard storage. Is the 64 gigabyte onboard storage follow industry standards? What can onboard storage do, independently or with VMS? So we have a few partners, a few VMS Select partners, Video Insight and Genetec, that have done advanced features of being able to, they call it trickling, being able to download redundant recordings from the onboard storage. But generally, my philosophy of the onboard storage is really, it's a backup. If a hard drive fails, I mean, I would assume most folks in an enterprise format are doing solid state drives, but it's always good to have a cost-efficient backup at the edge. One day will all storage be pushed to the edge? That's possible. I think that's a debatable industry question. That's a very frequent topic in our industry. Our core philosophy as it stands today is 64 gigabytes is a good amount of storage for 2 megapixel. Not so much maybe for 10, but it'll give you several days if you have refined video motion detection settings on it. So it's a really nice backup to have if you have, and we actually do have a lot of applications specifically with our PTZ that's using the onboard storage and having a trickling effect of the redundant recording on the edge be accessed wirelessly. Okay, can you record at constant for a Vigilon? Camera side, okay, I'm sorry, I missed part of the question here. Your cameras are server-side motion event recording, correct? Not camera-side motion. That is why you can only record at continuous for Vigilon. No, that actually is not accurate. All of our cameras have onboard video motion detection. There would be some limitations as far as the integration level. So if the VMS hasn't integrated the motion detection feature of our camera, it's not going to work. Could you stream it through RTSP constantly? Yes, absolutely. But if there's not an actual integration done between the camera API and a VMS platform, all the features like video motion detection is a feature, variable bit rate is a feature, storage is a feature. All those different things are aspects of the API where the video management software provider needs to code it in. So if there's limitations in that, I would contact a Vigilon or the VMS partners. We actually have a lot of folks asking for integration. We're actually taking a petition. So we have a petition format, a document that says, hey, if we're incompatible with a specific VMS choice, if it's a Vigilon or someone else, you sign this form out, and we actually give it to Mr. Ramsey over at a Vigilon and work on the business case side of the development resources. What are the most important differences from full site 360 and AirCon cameras? Oh, very, very big. We believe in the single sensor, single lens approach. We do not have multiple. AirCon only does multiple cameras. So for their 180 and 360, it's multiple cameras looking in multiple directions and stitching that information together. I think it's great for certain applications, but for smaller applications where you need north, south, east, west, and below, our camera is a great fit. We think, and also street corner applications where you need all that information, all of that traffic. So it's basically, at the end of the day, I think it's a design philosophy choice. Okay, we believe our product has lower power consumption dramatically. And there's no stitching effect. So we've heard some complaints. AirCon makes a good product, but we've heard some complaints that they don't like the stitching because part of the images aren't lined up correctly. And ours, obviously, with the single lens, single sensor philosophy, you don't have that. Hopefully that's in the mix with the Vigilon. Well, it is in the mix, and it's always going to be in the mix. We're talking, pretty much to every VMS out there. We have about, I'd say, 15 requests so far that are on paper. So, but we ask everyone to be proactive about this. So do we wish OnVIF was the best thing for everybody and it made all hardware, software guys play nice together? Yes, we do, but it's not ready for everything yet. It does a lot of good things. I think we're halfway there with OnVIF and the open standard protocol, but we have to continue integration partnerships. In every industry, outside of the security industry, these ecosystems of compatibility happen everywhere. Like, look at Apple, right? Apple has all these different apps, and but the coding has to be done. It has to be done from the person that develops the apps. So if you're a VMS platform, you need to either A, come out with a protocol that says every edge device you write to this, which we're obviously willing to do, like for things like Genetec, or B, hey, we're going to do the hard work and do the coding ourselves and make sure there's a tight integration. So we always ask if there is a need or a want or a desire to integrate with a third-party video management solution, call us up, sign our petition, and the more momentum, the more customers that are asking for it, the results happen after that. That's our experience over the past 3 years of integrating our products with over 30 compatibility partners. Next question is, great question so far. Thank you, everyone. Can the full-sight cameras auto-configure for optimal performance, or is it manual configuration and or tweaking required? Lovely, lovely question. So we have a control panel for our cameras. It's called Sentry View. So Sentry View has default image quality settings, video motion settings that you can pick from depending upon where you're seeing of camera or environment of your cameras that's being installed in. So we have default settings that you can check box, and automatically push, so you don't have to do those checks and balances of image quality, contrast, brightness, and all those other things, and obviously now wide dynamic range having different presets as well. The Sentry View is available on our website. It auto-configures all of your IP addresses, can do the default image quality settings, so you don't have to do that tweaking. I hated that tweaking when I was doing camera settings. It's no fun. Have you tested an Axis 5 megapixel camera against yours yet? Nope, we haven't. We've seen it. We don't have one in-house. I would, if maybe I'll buy one. That's a good question, Paul. I'd love to see it. So we're going to kind of continue on here. All right. So now we're going to take you into an example. Actually, here, let me get to where I need to be. So the next step here is what we're going to do is we're going to take you to an actual, this is a mock installation. Okay, so we're going to be seeing 360 directional cameras, 180 cameras, and kind of showing you the difference in a lot of these applications here. So this is actually one of our customers. We just kind of did the mock field of view and where some of the cameras are placed here. So here is one on the pickup area. So here's a camera, a 5 megapixel camera placed in the mock-up area, seeing license plates in a 3-lane traffic zone. We zoom back out here, and we're going to go over to another directional 5 megapixel camera. And indoor settings, this is obviously a major U.S. airport, customer of ours. I will tell you this is not an image from our from this specific installation. This is just a mock-up to show you kind of what a 180-degree camera would be used in here, showing the field of view and the image quality, and the 360. So capturing a wide field of view with a very heavy traffic zone. So going down to the tarmac, here we can have HD cameras covering the tarmac area and quality in low light. So this is a mock-up design. So for all of our customers, distribution partners, system integrators, we do these designs for you. So what we're going to do next here is show you our partner portal. Everyone under the partner section of our website can log on for free and register. So this is an environment for you to design, do the checks and balances of storage optimization, field of view, and image quality. So also here, another good place for that Genetec user to go to download the Genetec protocol, it would be right here. You can download firmware, manuals, further documentation, sales resources. So another user asked about demonstration video. All of that is available to our partners here. You can download Sentry Core and Sentry View here and participate in our beta program. In the video sections, we have how-to, step-by-step installation guides, tutorials, and promotional videos as well. In our tools, so we're going to take you through a mock-up design with our quote builder, our lens calculator, and our 180-degree calculator. So let's go to that right now. So first of all, this is our storage calculator. So we're going to do a little mock-up here. So let's say we're going to use a 4180 at 8 frames per second. We're going to use 2 of those, add a camera. Let's go with a 220. I think 12 frames per second is fine here. We're going to use 3 of those, add a camera. See how the camera, the overall pie chart changes and shows the overall bit rate or bandwidth consumption of the cameras that you're adding dynamically. So here we're going to do a 10 megapixel camera. We'll just use one of those. Let's use a PTZ, and let's do full 30 frames per second. We're going to need 3 of those. Okay, here. So you can measure it by a 10-100 or 1,000 base T. So it shows the overall percentage of usable consumption here, and then our next step is to go to how many days. So let's say we need 15 days, and we're going to be recording at about 30% motion. Okay, so here is the storage requirement for this project and the overall bit rate of the project. So you can save this to a PDF from the partner portal. You can clear the cameras, remove a camera independently. If we continue moving on here, this is a field of view chart. So if you're wondering what the quality of image you're going to get with a 3 megapixel 360 versus a 10 based on your mounting height, this is the place to go to. So let's select our mounting height first. We're going to go to 15 feet up, and let's use a 3 megapixel to start. So here our primary field of view, so this is a diameter of coverage and a diameter coverage here. So times 2 would be north, south, east, and west. So that would be 32 feet total across. So from the camera out, it's 16 feet. So that's the diameter coverage there. So that's primary field of view is defined by enough pixels on target to capture information. Now, we really don't recommend, you're never, specifically with a 3 megapixel camera, you're not really going to get 75 pixels per foot at 16 feet away because you're capturing this overall field of view. So we don't recommend using the 360 for license plate applications. It's really for more of an overview shot. If we contrast that with a 10 megapixel 360, significant higher field of view coverage, and we can even mount this higher. So we can mount this at 20 feet and still have higher primary field of view and secondary field of view. Secondary field of view is a general overview. So red car, blue car, general aspects of a scene. So if we want to go to like a 180 camera, you see it's on the wall. So that's covering the wall-mounted application there. And again, with the 40-180 as well. So you see the orientation of wall mount versus ceiling mount. So here is our lens calculator / pixels per foot calculator. What we're going to do is select the camera and select our distances. So we actually changed this up quite a bit since we first launched it because folks don't necessarily know our product so well, but they know their application. So what you type in is what's the distance you want to see away. So let's go to 107 feet, and we're going to mount the camera 15 feet up. Okay, so let's say 16 millimeter lens is what we're going to use. So at 57 feet away, you're going to get 75 pixels per foot. At 94 feet away, 35 pixels per foot. 187, 20, and almost 1,000 feet away, you'll still get 5 pixels per foot. So this is the broad view and range of distance and height with this resolution, this 10 megapixel camera and 16 millimeter lens that you're going to get throughout the field of view coverage. So if we bring this all together, what you can do through the portal is design an entire system or a quote. You can upload your own logo, put all of your information here. You can make changes on the fly. We host this. We have our own servers that are hosting it, so you can always come back to it and make changes. So what we're going to do is start building a system. So let's add an item. So we're going to go to, let's add an item. Let's add a camera to start off with. Let's add a 180-degree camera. Let's do a 4, and let's add 3 of them here. We can have this. We can also dynamically change the price, so we can have it be at whatever price you want it to be, for your customer or whatever. Here you can add that camera. So here you have the model number, the description, the picture, the price, the total. Let's add a few more cameras here. Fixed. Let's go with a 5 megapixel. Let's go with day and night. Okay. And we can go with 1 here. And let's do that. And let's add a accessory. Let's add a housing. Okay. Let's add a 360 next. And next we're going to add a PTZ. Okay, so that's a good start here. We got a full cross. So here we're going to go next. So here's the bandwidth. Now in the bandwidth and the storage. Now here you can change these things on the fly. I don't want to do 15 frames per second. I want to do 8 on this camera. I don't want to do 12. I want to go down to 6 for this customer. On 10 megapixel, I'll keep it there. I want, I'm just going to do 15 frames per second on the PTZ. And I want 21 days of storage at 50% motion here. Okay, so here we have our full graph here. That's all been recorded. So now we have 2 directional cameras. So we want to make sure that in our project that we have the right millimeter lens attached to it. So here let's use a 12 millimeter lens because we're going to do 100 feet away. And we're going to mount the camera 15 feet up. Okay, so as we've selected the 5 megapixel with these settings, we're getting this quality. So you can also toggle here. So you can toggle between a face or plates. So with the 240, this is the 2 megapixel 4 to 94, got it right, optical range. So if you have a specific application, let's say the entrance of the parking lot is 50 feet away, okay, and we're going to mount the camera 30 feet up, really high. What range? So let's start with a 40 millimeter optical format. So here, between faces or plates, we're going to see at 78 feet away, we're going to get 74 pixels per foot, and 119 feet away, we're getting 37 pixels per foot, just enough to capture that plate there. So here we're going to go next because we've added a 180 and a 360, so the field of view calculator is popping up. So we're going to mount this camera 20 feet up. And our next camera, we're going to mount a little lower to the ground, 12 feet up. Okay, this is our 180-degree camera. Next. Okay, we're done. So we built the online quote builder so all of our users can have a really good experience and a really proficient document to give their customers. So you can do the quotation and customize this 100%. You can even add notes to it that says, hey, I want net 30-day terms, anything like that. And we're always willing to do customizations for this. And on the same document you give the end user, storage, bandwidth consumptions, all dynamically adjusted here. And the specific lens calculators for the specific lenses and cameras we've added. So they're showing them the quality of image they're going to get before they get it, and the field of view. So this is all one document. We felt that if you can deliver this kind of a document with all this precise information, that you're going to have a good overall experience with users. So here's another point in the webinar I think is a good time to pause. We're almost done here. So I'm going to see if any other questions. Thank you very much for the kind words. Wonderful. Thank you very much for the kind words. Really appreciate it. Okay, well that concludes our webinar today. Thank you everyone for joining, and we will see you next time. There's actually another webinar scheduled for the 4th, so please feel free to call us or email us for information on December 6th's webinar on Thursday this week. Have a great day. Thanks everyone.